So, you want to start a business. It can feel like this huge, incredible, but maybe a little overwhelming journey, right? Well, today we're going to break it all down. We're creating a simple step-by-step guide to take that brilliant idea that's rattling around in your head and turn it into a real, actual business. So, let's dive in.
Hello, dear students. I am your teacher, Kashif Ibrahim. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had that light bulb moment? You know, that spark of an idea for a business, something you just know could be great, but then you just felt completely lost? Like, what's the next step? If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. We're about to lay out a super clear roadmap that'll take you all the way from that initial spark to a real live business.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, the very first step is turning that thought, that idea, into something real, a solid concept. And to do that, we're going to use this really powerful framework called design thinking. It's what makes sure our idea is built to last from the very beginning.
So what in the world is design thinking? Well, at its core, it's a way to creatively solve problems. But here's the key difference. Instead of just building what we think people want, it forces us to get out there and deeply understand the real needs of our future customers. It's all about solving problems for actual people.
The whole process breaks down into these 5 clear steps you see right here. Let's make it real with an example, okay? Imagine you want to design a better school bag. First, you'd empathize. You'd actually talk to students and understand their struggles with heavy, messy bags. Then you define the problem. Students need a bag that's light, tough, and has smart compartments. Third, you ideate, which is just a fancy word for brainstorming. You'd come up with dozens of ideas, new materials, different straps, special pockets, the whole shebang. Fourth, you'd build a simple prototype. And finally, you'd test it with real students to get their honest feedback. See? That cycle is how you get to a product people will actually love.
Okay, once you've used design thinking to really nail down your idea, you need a plan. Now, a business plan isn't some dusty, boring document you write once and then forget about. No way. You got to think of it as your map. It's the guide that shows you exactly where you're headed and how you're going to get there.
You know, this comparison to a road trip map is just perfect. Think about it. You wouldn't try to drive across the country without a map, would you? So why would you try to start a business without a plan? It's really just the process of thinking through all the important stuff and spotting challenges before they become real problems.
So what's actually in this map? Well, as you can see, you start with an executive summary. That's your hook. Your entire business idea packed into one powerful page. Then you've got your business description, where you explain what makes you so special. Your market analysis is where you prove you know your customers and competitors inside and out. Then you get into the details, your products, how you're going to market them, and this is a big one, the financial plan. That's how the money is actually going to work. Every single one of these pieces is a critical part of the puzzle.
Now let's zoom in on one of the most important parts of that whole plan, understanding your market. If the business plan is your map, then market research, well, that's your compass. It's the thing that keeps you pointed in the right direction.
To put it simply, market research is all about replacing guesswork with cold, hard facts. It helps you make smart decisions about absolutely everything, from what to charge for your product to the colors you use in your logo. It's really about listening to the market before you start talking.
And there are 2 main ways to do this listening. First, you have qualitative research. This is all about the why. It's having those deep conversations, maybe at a local bakery, asking people what pastries they love and why they love them. On the other side, you have quantitative research. This is about the how many. It's sending out a survey to find out exactly how many people would pay a specific price for your coffee. You really need both to get the full picture.
Part of that research is, of course, checking out your competition. A chart like this is a great way to see where you fit in. So maybe competitor A is super cheap, but the quality is just okay. Competitor B is top-notch quality, but they're really expensive. So where's the gap in the market?
Hey, maybe it's right here, offering high quality at a medium price. This kind of analysis is how you find your unique spot to shine.
All right, so you've got an idea that's been tested, you've got a solid plan, and you've used research to find your sweet spot in the market. Now for the really exciting part, bringing it all to life. This is where you pitch your vision, market your product, and of course, manage your money.
First things first, you've got to be able to explain your idea clearly and fast. That's your pitch. And look how simple this can be. What is it? A fresh juice shop. Who's it for? People who care about their health. Why will it work? Because there are no other juice shops around here. And what makes it special? We support local farmers. Boom. In just 4 quick points, anyone can understand your vision and get excited about it.
Next up, you need a marketing plan. This is your strategy for how you're going to tell your customers that you even exist. And in today's world, that's less about shouting with expensive ads and more about making real connections. That could mean creating helpful content on social media or maybe partnering with influencers your customers already know and trust. The key is to find your people where they already are.
And of course, we have to talk about the money. But don't worry, at its simplest, it all comes down to one core equation. Profit equals revenue minus costs. Just like the caption says, revenue is all the money you bring in from sales. Costs are everything you spend to run the business. Ingredients, rent, salaries, you name it. Whatever's left over, that's your profit. The goal is to make sure your revenue is always higher than your costs.
So finally, let's talk about the most important tools in your entire toolkit. And I'm not talking about fancy software or expensive equipment. I'm talking about the essential skills, many of which you can start working on right now.
First up is communication. And this is so much more than just talking. It's about being able to share your vision clearly with investors, to really listen to what your customers are telling you, and to inspire your whole team to join you on this journey. It's truly the foundation for everything else.
Second, collaboration. You know, no great business was ever built by just one person in a dark room. The ability to work well with others, to bring together different skills and different points of view, that's what takes a good idea and makes it a truly great business. It's about building something way bigger than you could ever build alone.
And third, creativity. You should think of this as your secret weapon. And it's not about being an artist. It's about being a great problem solver. It's about looking at a challenge that has everyone else stuck and finding a totally new and original way around it.
At the end of the day, this is why being an entrepreneur is so important. It's about way more than just making money. It's about using these skills, communication, collaboration, creativity, to solve problems and to make things better. That is how real progress happens in the world.
So there you have it, the entire roadmap, all the way from a simple idea to a full-on launch. You've got the steps, you've got the tools, and you have the core skills. So the only question left is the one right there on the screen. What problem are you going to solve first?